The, um, the dynamic that Father is speaking of is extremely complex. And the reality is you folks are sitting here today with a tremendous opportunity in front of you. An opportunity that very few parishes would ever get from the Archdiocese of Indianapolis. I am a member of Immaculate Heart of Mary Parish. It's where I've been since I moved here 24 years ago. I graduated from Notre Dame, moved down. My wife, Laura, and my boys are here today. We've been at Immaculate Heart ever since. The Archbishop grabbed onto me early on, and he had me serve on the Building Commission for 17 years, and I've been on the Archdiocesan Community Foundation for almost 10 years. And I have been the chairperson of all of the development activities, all the capital campaigns throughout the Archdiocese for the last 9 years. So I have a lot of experience in what's been happening. And I can't remember how long ago, years ago, it had to have been 6, 7, 8 years ago, when Father first contacted me, probably 9, to come out and look at your parish facilities. Because the question was, what does the future hold for St. Gabriel? Now, a gentleman asked the question earlier, what would happen if you continue to go into debt? I am not the Archdiocese, and I cannot answer that question. But in the past, parishes have closed. When they become to a point where their debt just continues to mount with no direction in the other way, they close them. They consolidate them with other parishes. This is a fact of life. Now, don't take away from here today that a representative of the Archdiocese spoke to you and told you your parish was going to close. I'm just saying it's a simple fact of business. They will carry them through home missions as best they can and subsidize them through archdiocesan funds as best they can. But when there comes a point where they're too much of a drain and there's no direction heading in the other way, they close the parishes. And it's a very, very, very tough situation, very, very heartfelt. So Father came to me and said, what can we do to revitalize our parish? The building committee was formed. At that point in time, there wasn't the foresight of consolidating the schools. And one of the things was to build the church, to make it exciting, a new, exciting, vibrant place to come, to build a new church. So at that time, as you recall, there were 2 capital campaigns and there were monies raised to build the church. But we never quite got there. All the hard work of so many of you in this room today, and all the hard work of people that came before you, and people that will come after you, we just couldn't seem to get over that hump. We needed $2.8 million to build the church, and it just wasn't there. Even through 2 very hard-fought capital campaigns, the money came out to be about $1.2 million. Now, hell hath no fury, like a Catholic that gives money, and then that money is used for something else. That is a fact of life. And I've worked with parishes, 151 of them across this diocese, and I will tell you that when people give money, they want it to go for exactly what they gave for. I'm like that when I give at my parish. That should be expected. That's not unusual. So the money was sitting in the fund, the $1.2 million, and there was stagnation still. There was this discussion of St. Michael's. There was discussion of, people were no longer making good on their pledges because they didn't believe anything was going to happen here, that there really wouldn't be a building project ever in the future. So they stopped paying, and that's another very normal situation. It happens in parishes all across our diocese. So Father had a discussion with me about the situation. And I said, well, Father, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I save for my retirement, but I'm not sure I'd keep putting money in my retirement if in fact I had a health problem and I wasn't taking care of myself today, because I wouldn't be here for my retirement money. Or I don't think it'd be really smart to put away for a kid's college fund and not take the time and the effort and money it would take to make sure they get to college. So I said, maybe you need a paradigm shift. Maybe I'll look at this a different way. Because the Archdiocese, by the way, is very stringent on how they deal with building funds. 50% of the money in the bank and 50% of the money on pledge before they'll even let you touch a building project. 50% in the bank, 50% on hard pledges. And you never can start one if you have debt. So here's this chicken egg thing that the parish is in. What do? Do you try to go forward with a building project? Do you have a $700,000 debt you have to incur? So I talked to Father about it, and I said, just a suggestion. I would suggest you meet with the Vicar General, with Monsignor Shadle, and I would suggest you meet with Jess Dunn, the CFO, and maybe throw out an idea to them. And throw it out to them before you throw it out to your parishioners. Because we're always wanting to make the Archdiocese the bad guys here. But in the end of the day, they help us out quite a bit. So I said, suggest to them, would they consider, would they even entertain a reduction of your debt And if you reduced it a certain amount, whatever that was, we assumed they'd want it all, but whatever it is, then you could take the rest of the money and revitalize your parish by renovating your church and bring life and hope and a future back. And we thought that the St. Michael, the consolidation and what's going on there, was a very, very good thing because it showed a commitment that the Archdiocese intends on keeping St. Gabriel here alive and well for the foreseeable future. We felt that if they would allow you to do something with your debt and to do something with your building project, that was a great, great sign that the Archdiocese is committed to St. Gabriel's right here on this site. So we went down, Father and I, and we met with Monsignor Shadle and Jeff Stump, and we were absolutely stunned. We're talking about the long shot, the Hail Mary, the pass to the end zone with, no time left. We went in there and we asked them, would they consider that? Would they consider allowing the parish, you to decide, if you wanted to use your capital funds to pay off half the debt and then have a 10-year plan, would they consider it? And we thought they were going to counter us right away and say, got to pay the whole debt. But they said, we would consider it. We consider that. I've never seen this done before. I've never seen them let anybody do this before. And then they came back and sweetened the deal when they said, well, here's what else we'll do for you, because we're committed to St. Gabriel. What the other thing we'll do for you is after you pay half your debt, and you had to give them a 10-year budget, which your finance group did, then every dollar of debt after that, we'll pay $1 for $1. So they in effect cut the remaining part of your debt by 50%. I mean, this glass is half full, folks. I mean, in all my years, 20 years with the Archdiocese, I've not seen this kind of cooperation on a given project like this with the debt situation the way it is. They are truly, truly committed to you and truly committed to the life of St. Gabriel for the distant future, because they wouldn't do this. They wouldn't do this. They would make you take care of your debt first. So that's just a little background, and I applaud Father for what he's done, because in the second thought, which is the most toughest thing a priest ever has to do, is address his congregation, his people, his flock, and to ask you to approve rerouting dollars, your hard-earned dollars, every dollar you worked for to give to this capital campaign, to put it back toward the debt, half of the debt, and then to try to do something that would help revitalize the parish. Now, this doesn't have to be done now. This building doesn't have to be done now. You have to decide when it's right to do it. What makes sense for the life of the parish? Would this church renovation in this location, I mean, I just attended a beautiful liturgical service here. It works. Would this inspire more people to join the parish? Would it inspire more people to give to the parish? Only you can make that call. But there is a chicken egg, or the old field dreams, if you build it, they will come, sort of cliches that are out there. But at any rate, that's a little more background in terms of how this has gone. It's a tremendous opportunity for you to take advantage of, that in the end of the day is probably going to save you close to $200,000 in your debt overall. And in the end of the day, it's going to get you out of debt. And I can look around this room, and I know myself, we as good Catholics, we care about our debts. We want to resolve our debts. So this was an out-of-the-box, creative way to approach the Archdiocese. And Father, again, I applaud you. I've not seen a priest take him on so rigorously as you have, and you're lucky to have him. With that, I would be happy to answer any questions, or I'd be happy to just share with you some of the ideas